This time I have a Hitachi VCR, and this one has so many things wrong with it. It deserves a song because it was an engineering mess up. 13 parts failed in this one.
Out on the range, where the wild winds blow, there was a dream in the making, a project to show. We'd count on the plans that were drawn up so fine, but little did we know it would all fall in line. Oh, the engineer's blunder, it brought us to tears.
This is a Hitachi VHS machine. I just picked this up from a client that has no video out, and besides that, it just doesn't work. Like, you press play and it shuts down. So it's got a couple problems. We're going to tear this one apart and see what's going on. I got my LCD monitor going again here, and I didn't even have to do anything to fix it. This is the one that went off after the planned power outage that was out for several hours there a few months ago when it was cold out. And I guess one of the capacitors in the boot up, the startup for the standby supply, just was tired, and the power was just blinking off and on. So I left it unplugged for months. And just for the hell of it, I plugged it in the other day, and the standby light stayed red. It stopped flashing, and of course then the set turned on and everything is good. So I'm using it again as my view screen. It's kind of nice having it back where it was. Not that the plasma was a problem, but this one here is every bit as good. I'll use it there. I was dreading having to take it down off the wall and put it on the bench to work on it, just because, well, one, I don't have the room for it, but two, just taking it off the wall. The wall bracket is not the correct bracket for it. I had to make one out of the bracket plus a 1/4 inch sheet of plywood, and the bracket is screwed to the plywood and the plywood is screwed to the TV. So I dread taking it down to repair it, just because it'll take me half the day to take it down and take the bracket apart and take it apart just so I can get the back off it so I can go and fix it. But it'll get done at some point. But for now it's working, so we'll use it. Let me plug this one in and we'll just observe what it is doing. And let's see if we can get this one fixed up. Now, I was at the customer's house, so I saw the symptom that it had. I had no video out whatsoever, like not even any blue screen. So that's the first thing to deal with. It's either that or the adapter cable for her Roku TV was the wrong cable. But we'll see whether I get a blue screen here. I should see a blue screen on the TV if the system is working, or at least see something. Now, power on. It does turn on. Oh yeah, this is what I'm seeing on my screen. Take a look at this. We have a power supply issue. See, I got nothing on her screen at all. But it just had a message saying check the signal. So likely because of all that noise, the video didn't even show up. It just showed a blank screen. So maybe her adapter cable is correct. Because this definitely has a video problem. It also has a problem playing tapes because it wouldn't play. So let's put a tape in it and watch what it does mechanically. It was an old customer from work that called me up. She got a new TV, so she had me go up there to hook up her new TV for her to her cable box and stuff. And then she said, can you hook up my VCR and my Blu-ray player? And she gave me her old TV, so I'll be working on that at some point. It sounds like it's got blown speakers, so we'll see if I can find some speakers for it. It's a Samsung 3D set. So picture looked fine on it, but the sound, well, so you can tell the speakers were trash. So that'll be an upcoming video. Don't know when that'll be, but it'll be an upcoming video. This one here, it shut down when I tried it there. I hit play. And well, now it's turning. In her case, it just shut down. Maybe her tape was bad, but yeah, we just have this noise. This is what we're getting on the screen.
Department's failure to reimburse soldiers' families for the full cost of their
yeah, so we have a problem. When I tried this at the house, though, Like it never even got to that point. Like it didn't play. I put it in, I pressed play, and the power shut down. But we may be all related.
Another said O'Connor is a good guy, but
Like it literally the power just turned off. But at least the mechanism appears to be working, so let's deal with the power supply. Here's my tape playing. It's an SP tape, but it looks to be playing an EP, and I'm just still getting just the blue hum bars. Blue hum bars. Hum bars. Is that like a chocolate bar? Alright, so there's a linear power supply on this one. Big wide bars like that, that's 60 cycle hum. Let's dig into the power supply and see where the fault is. What do you guys want? You guys want a long form or a short form video? Should I make this like a 10-minute one, or do you want a deeper dive? That's always the question, right? What should I do? Should I make something a little more long form so that 10 years from now I can streamline it and make it into a short form video? Or should I shoot you guys a short former? I guess it will be what it is. It is what it is, as they say. If it's a short form video, great. If it's a long form video, I got news for you. You're going to be here for a while, because this thing has lots wrong with it. I still have 2 beta machines that I haven't opened yet that were shipped in. They'll be getting looked at pretty quick too. And I have another beta machine that's coming in from the interior next week. So I've got a few beta machines in. I'm seeing more beta machines lately than I think I've seen in the last couple of years. Like that'll be 4 beta machines within a month. Don't know what it is with beta machines. Everyone interested in fixing them again. You know, for the longest time I didn't see any other than my own. But I've seen a few lately that makes me wonder what's going on. I guess maybe people are dragging out their tapes and finally going to get around to transferring their tapes over, only to find that their machine is broken. So that major hum that we saw on here is definitely an indication that there's a problem on this power supply in the regulation, and it's probably one of these big filters. Let's take a look at the ESR, and a light just went out. Wonderful. LED lights are failing here left, right, and center. That one looks okay. That one doesn't look okay. That one looks like that one's completely open. I think this might be the problem. What do you guys think? You think this is the problem here? I think this one might be the problem, because yeah, it's a little bit high. But my meter probe is zeroed out, or pretty damn close to it, and I would expect that would be like reading a really low number, but it's not. So let's turn on the soldering iron with the tip that is just about completely falling apart. Like this tip is just, you know, I mean, I do have other tips that I could put on here. I probably got some sitting right here in the iron that I could put on. What do you think? Should I put a new tip on this thing? I got this guy, and I got this bigger one here, and I got this one that's just worn out. So let's just take this one off, and we'll just put that one. Ouch, that was hot already. I just turned this thing on, and that thing was like red hot. It burned my finger. I'll do I guess get another one of these tips. I think I probably have one. I bought a few spares when I started using this iron, but yeah, there's the old tip is pretty much, it's too hot to touch. Pretty much toast. But it had a good life. This was in there for more than a year, so it doesn't owe me anything. Just letting the iron warm up, and we'll pop this cap out. That's a good size cap too. That's going to probably be the only one that's bad on this one. At least that's what we hope. And get a picture on it, or hope I get a picture on it. That's wishful thinking. I tell you, I spend more time waiting for people to pick stuff up, drop stuff off. I've been waiting for someone to drop off some tapes to transfer over. They were supposed to be here at 10 o'clock this morning. The other fellow that was picking up his stuff, he showed up right at 10 o'clock, right when he said he would, and this person, they just completely forgot, and they just contacted me at 1:30. I went out to pick up this stuff, the TV that was given to me and this VCR, and hook up this stuff. I went out, I waited because I was supposed to see that person at 11, and I waited around for the person that was supposed to come over at 10, and they never showed. So I finally went over to pick up this and so forth, and then they contact me and they say, "Oh, I forgot totally about it. I'll be there by 2." Well, that was at like 1:30. I said earlier is better, but I'll wait around for you till 2 because I got stuff to do. And here it is, 5 after 2, and they're still not here. And it's one of the things that kind of really, it's one of my pet peeves is people that say they're going to show up and then they just don't. You know, it's like their time is more important than mine, so I have to wait around for them. And to say I do have other things to do. I'm fixing this VCR for one, but we'll check this dry cap out of circuit just to show you guys. We'll look at the capacity of it as well. It's open for sure. Watch it measure good now that I've removed it. Wouldn't that be something? Hey, it's happened before. But it's open, as you can see. So if I put this on the other meter, I could grab the flute just for the hell of it, just to keep you guys happy to see the flute. But, you know, this meter here has turned out to be every bit as accurate as the fluke, and I find that the display on this is easier to read on camera. The other one, you have to be at the right angle. So this is showing at 1.45 millifarad. So 1400 microfarad, and it's a 2200 is the original. So it's down, right? This should say like 2.2 millifarad if it was okay, but it's not. I mean, we know it's open because, well, we saw it open on the ESR meter, but even capacity wise it's down. Let's find another cap. There's a new 2200 25 volt. We'll put this on the meter first and just show you guys what a real, like a proper one will look like on a capacitor meter. Oh, what do you know? It's 213 and my client finally shows up. Wonderful. We're only supposed to be here at 10. Oh, where was I? Oh, yes. Let's see what a new cap, and I'm going to only touch it with one hand here just so that it don't affect the readings. But here we go. 2.1. It's supposed to be 2.2. But it measures in not microfarads, but millifarad, so you have to move the decimal point over, right? So it's 2200, so you move the decimal point over 3, and this would be reading 2080. But it's close enough. It's supposed to be 2200. It is a Rubicon, so it's not like it's a Chinese knockoff. It's a Rubicon cap. That's what I have. We'll check the ESR out on it. The ESR should be like virtually reading zeros. So turn on the ESR meter, zero out the probes, zero out the wires, and you see 0.02. That's what it should be. And the other one was completely open because it was over 100 ohms. This only measured up as high as 100. My other ESR meter will actually measure ESR that's higher than that. But you know what? If it's more than a couple of ohms, it's shot. We don't care what it actually registers. Sometimes you got to check, you just double check to make sure, because sometimes the silkscreen printing is not good. I'll have to make a trip down to Lee's next week and get some more large caps. This is the last of these ones that I've got. It's going to be a fun one to get this one in. I would recommend removing the heatsink to do this, any of these ones. In fact, I will.
Heatsink off, but that's just too much work.
I will when I have to change some of the other ones, because there's a bunch of them in here that are bad. But you got to unsolder both regulators to do it. So that's why I'm trying. I figured it was only one cap that was bad, but as I soon found out, it's more than this one. There's it just goes on and on and on and never ends. I don't like this light. It's always in the way. It's not where I need it. It's always right in the way. The other light was better because the arm was shorter, but it broke. That's why I'm using this one. The base that goes into the desk snapped off. It fell over. But we got the cap in. I'll explain to you guys why you're seeing some of you guys are going to call it recycled content. Let's put it this way: it's redone content that was done years ago. In many cases, I've found that some of the stuff that was done, 10, 12 years ago, may not have been edited to the standards that I would hold myself to now as far as editing goes. And also, there'd be times where I have a shot of a screen, or there's sound that's picked up from a radio playing, in the background, or the neighbor's radio, and things were fine for 10 years, and all of a sudden, out of the blue, I get a copyright match. So YouTube gives me a couple of options. They say, well, you can edit out, you can have us mask the offending material, but the problem is, once YouTube has done the subtitles and once they've done the multiple languages, which they tend to do for all the videos, they dub them, you can't trim it. It won't let you trim it, and you have to delete all of the multiple languages first, and then you can trim. They don't redo the multiple languages after you've done that. Once you trim it, it's now just in English. And it takes a long time to do it. And in many cases, when you try to separate music from, dialogue, it doesn't work. It fails. It says, oh, we are unable to separate that background music. And we're talking music that's at like minus 30 or minus 30 or 40 dB that you can barely hear. But for some reason, the algorithm has picked it up, and some company has decided that they are going to make a claim to it. So when I get those notifications, and believe it or not, the video might have been up for 8 or 10 years and never had a claim, and all of a sudden I get a notification down the road that a claim has been made against a specific video. And I'll go and look at the video, and if it's one that I think that this one might do from a refresh, I'll find the source files and I'll edit it again. And that's the one you'll usually hear me dubbing in the audio, because I don't want any background sound and I shorten them down. But those are the reasons. That's the primary reason. It's not that I'm doing it to upload repetitive content, because in most cases the original one will have already been removed. So it's not really, it's different content. It's not the same video. It's not like I'm uploading the same video again. It's one that has been re-edited, and it's been done for a reason. Sometimes it's done just because I felt the original one was too long and I can improve on it and maybe make it more direct. Other times it's been because of technical reasons, such as the bogus copyright claims. And it's getting worse. It's getting worse. Even using Music Bakery's content, which I licensed years ago. Like, I bought it years ago. I've got all my licenses for it. There's never an issue with it, but the problem is I still get the bullshit copyright claims from places like CD Baby and other of third-party companies that make claims, which requires me to go, first of all, and listen to it to see what track is being claimed, and then I have to go and try to remember what the name of the track is and find it in the library. Then I have to find my paperwork that shows that I purchased it, and I have to send that all back to YouTube, and it gets resolved within 24 hours. But I shouldn't have to do that. This is unpaid time where I have to go back and look stuff up that I shouldn't have to. So that's why you'll find when I work on tape decks and so forth, going forward, I'll likely be using some of the AI generated content that I own all the rights to. I've got a few instrumental tracks and a few vocal tracks, and I have a few more up my sleeve. I do write silly songs sometimes, and sometimes they are brilliant. But I do write some material, and I've got a membership with the AI song company that allows me to upload my own custom lyrics. So you'll hear stuff that is my own stuff that I uploaded. There's a couple right now that I've got. The Hitting the Highway on my Harley, that was my own composition. It's kind of a country rock song. I've played it before. That's my own. I Love My Betamax is not. That's 100% AI. But I've got a few that I've done where I've actually uploaded the lyrics and had the AI company do the singing and do the music. But the lyrics were I did, because, well, I write poetry, and sometimes it's funny. I try to make it funny. Do some parodies maybe, right? But anyway, that's enough of that. I'm rambling on. Let's get this power supply back in and see if it fixes this one. I am fairly confident this is going to resolve this issue, incidentally. That's why I'm not even bothering to check any other caps, because I figured it was going to be one of those two large ones, and it was. So plug this back in. That's better. Do I dare plug it in? We still may have a bad cap. It's a lot better than it was, but it doesn't look perfect. So one of the other ones might also be problematic. And they are problematic. There is another cap that's bad for sure. Take a look at the picture. A lot better. I got a picture now, but it's not right. So we got another cap that's bad. Let's go back into the power supply and find that one. That's why I didn't put the screws back in. Okay, let's just check a few more with the ESR meter. Measure them in circuit and see. There'll be probably a few others that are bad on here as well. Like this one here, C5853, is it? Ah, it's open. That one's bad. About this one here, 535. Measuring 10 ohms. That's a 220 microfarad, 35 volts. That's bad. Let's change out those two and see if that fixes the picture problem. We got two of them that we know, so that's a total of 3. So the first one is, it's a tough one to get to as well, because underneath the stupid heatsink that's in the way. It's probably why these cook too, because they're trapped in here with all the heat from the regulator transistors over here. Might be easier to unsolder the transistors and pull the heatsink, just to make it easier to get to the board. So let's do that. Let's unsolder these regulators. After all, there's only 3 of them, or 2 of them. 2 3-terminal regulators. out. There we go. Now I can get to the caps that I'm after. This one here, for starters, is bad. This one is a 150 volts, and this one over here is a 220 at 35. So let's find a couple caps. Probably got some in here in my bag of parts. 220 at 25. There we go. And what was the other one? 100 at 50. And we'll put a 100 at 63 as a. We'll put a 100 at 63 and a 220 at 35. Like so many of the other shops that had fallen before them, RP Electronics last year, they just decided it was no longer profitable to be in the electronic component business, and they folded up their tents and went online only, based out of Quebec. So the company was sold to a Quebec-based company, and I think they're still around online. I haven't bought anything from them. My policy is I don't buy parts online because I don't pay shipping charges, and because I can't pass those charges on, customers won't pay them. If I have to order a $5 part and there's $20 in shipping, or even $5 in shipping, they will tell me a lot of times just to throw it out. So I have to be able to get my parts where I can go and actually pick them up, because driving an EV, I can drive down there, you know, on my day off, or when I've got time, I can drive down there and be to the shop and back for about $1 in electricity. So I'm not going to pay $10 to have a part shipped out, or even $5 if I can go there and get it cheaper. So those two have been changed. We'll check some of the other ones as well, just before I put the heatsink back on, just to make sure there's no other ones that are also bad. I just measured all the caps in here, and they're all bad. Every one of these caps is bad, but I don't know that I'm going to change them all. This is the only one that wasn't bad. All the others are measuring bad on the ESR scale. But I'm not going to bother changing them, and the reason I'm not going to change them is because the person that owns this isn't prepared to spend a ton of money on it. Even at where I am now, they might say, I don't want to spend the money. I've got 3 caps into it now, and if that gets it working and gets a good picture, I'm going to leave it at that. But yeah, it could use them all. Again, the person that owns it asked me to look at it and see if I can make it work, because they've got some tapes they'd like to watch. It's a senior, and they don't want to spend a lot of money to fix it. Especially when I could sell them a used one for, you know, what I'm going to charge them to fix this. So don't want to spend too much on it. Alright, power supply's back in, moment of truth. Let's turn it on and see if it works. Well, that looks better already. I don't see hum bars on the screen from the tuner. Put a tape in. And it's getting better, but it's getting better and it's getting worse, because I think I had a better picture with hum bars before. Now I got no hum bars, but I've got, I don't know, a very good picture. It looks terrible. Changing out a few of the other ones that are measuring really bad. I mean, they all measure bad, but some are measuring worse than others, so we'll change out a couple more and see what happens. See if we can get the picture to work properly on this unit. I'm going to change these other two 10 microfarad at 16 volt. 2 more of them here that I think I'll change, and then we'll try it. Then I'll have gotten most of the small ones done. heck is it? It's right over here. Right back here. And the other one is up top here. This must have been built during the bad cap era. Usually you see this on devices that have a switching power supply, not a linear supply, but well, this is a linear supply and they're all bad.
honky-tonk bar where the neon glows, sitting at the counter feeling all the lows, heartbreak on my sleeve, what a way to start. And here I sit, broken hearted, feeling like a fool with no one. I paid my dime, thought I'd find some love, but all I got was trouble. It's a push and shove. Up on the stage they're singing my song, but my heart's so heavy like I don't belong. Looking at the whiskey, wondering where it went. Another night, another dime, and I feel so bent. Singing bittersweet tales with the blues in the air, searching for a magic, something that's rare. And here I sit, broken hearted, paid a dime and only farted. Next time I will take my chance, save my time, shit my pants. Oh, life's a joke when you're feeling low, but I'll keep playing, let the music flow. My buddies tell me, man, don't take a fall, but love's just a game, and we're all playing ball. Got a heart full of scars, the stories don't end. In 1 minute you fly, and the next you descend. Tales of lost love and the promise of fate. Whiskey soaked nights, isn't it great? So I'll grab that guitar, let the rhythm take flight, play these heartaches until the morning light. Now the jukebox is playing my favorite tune as I sit here reminiscing neath the silver moon, with a twinkle in my eye and laughter in my veins. I'll take on tomorrow through the joy and pain. Life's too short to keep playing it safe, so let's raise a glass, feel the music's embrace. And here I sit, broken hearted, paid a dime and farted. Next time I will take my chance, save my dime, shit my pants. Oh, life's a joke when you're feeling low, but I'll keep playing, let the music flow. So here's to the lost ones, the laughs and the tears, to every heartbroken soul. Let's toast with tears. And when the sun rises, I'll hold my head high, with a twinkle in my eye, catch
Oh.
the next ride.
Nope. Might help if I don't have the wires caught in among the chassis. We'll give this a try again and see whether I get an improved picture this time. We've changed all the little caps now in the power supply, every last one of them, because, well, they were all in some form of distress, some worse than others. and it still looks like crap. I mean, the picture is terrible. So all the caps have been replaced in the power supply, and the picture still looks like absolute trash. So at this point, I'm probably going to have to tell the person that owns this one, it's probably not worth fixing this one. It's going to be probably other capacitors that are bad in the video circuit somewhere. Regardless, I mean, I've put more parts into this thing than it was really worth putting into, and we still have a bad picture. Now we're moving into other areas besides the power supply. Video circuit somewhere in there, but it's just once you get into this, it just becomes like, where do you stop, right? The machine's not worth really any money. This is just a hi-fi machine, and you know, these things don't go for a lot of money. Got a vacuum fluorescent display with audio meters, which is kind of nice. But where do you go from here, right? I mean, where do you stop? That's the problem. I haven't even got to the mechanism, but I think it's probably okay. I apply a wet finger to the video board. It makes drastic changes, so it's probably something right in this area here. I'll show you the screen. Okay, so wet finger. I bet you it's a cap or two, or all of them in the video board, in the process board here. More than likely, that's where the fault is. It's just the fact that every last one of those caps in the power supply was bad. So if they were all from the same batch of bad caps, then everything on the video board is probably also in the same boat or close to it. And these weren't the simplest machines to work on because of the way they built it, with multiple boards sticking down. I don't know even if you can test it with it running. I don't know how. I got to pull the front face off this thing. I mean, I'm into uneconomical to repair territory now. I've never worked on one like this before. This was one that was probably released around the time that I left. I don't even know what year it is, but I have not worked on one like this. So this pops out. That board pops out and unplugs. And then this board should lift up. I may be able to tilt up the video board while this is running. This will pop up like that. It should lift up. See, the thing is, I have no controls now because I guess I could use the remote, but the front panel control plugs in here, and that's what's used to operate. The only button on here that's on here is eject. Now I think this might lift up. There might be some screws that have to come out. Let's just see whether this will pop up, or whether I have to remove some screws. Probably a screw or two that's got to come out. It holds us down like these ones. And that one. And this one. It'd be nice if I could tip the board up and have it operating with the board open, so I can see what's in there. And this thing, as it's heating up, is starting to improve. So it is obviously capacitors that are causing us problems here for sure, because as it's warming up, it's getting better. It should lift right out. This entire board should lift up. And it won't, because something else is holding it down, I'm sure. Like more boards over here. Yeah, see? I can't even lift this main board up with it operating because there's another set of boards in here that are plugged in. And in order to flip it up, they're going to disconnect, unless it'll tilt up. Maybe it'll tilt up. I was hoping it would flip up on edge and I could operate it with these other boards still connected. But that is what I don't know. Check out the bottom mechanism on this one. It's a different one than all the other ones I've seen. Looks like the mode switch is right over here on this one, which is not an easy place to get to clean. If it needs to be cleaned, they got to take apart this entire mechanism, take off this gear, take off the pulley, take off this pulley, remove this circuit board to get to the mode switch to clean it. Fortunately, the mode switch is not showing signs that it's bad because it's behaving properly now. The picture, believe it or not, has cleared up to the point where it's watchable. So I think we probably got a little cap on this board here that's going bad, or maybe just because it hasn't been powered up for a long time, it's reformed itself. But the picture is actually not that bad right now. It's getting there. It's like getting this board out to try to service this is going to be the fun part. I have no idea how this comes out. Does this back have to come off first? I don't know if I have to lift the back cover off. Whether it'll flip up or tilt. I don't think it'll flip or tilt because it's got a hinge connector on here to this board, but this board actually has a clip over top of it as well. So I don't know whether that clip comes out and the whole board lifts or what. I mean, this is clamped in here. There's a clamp at the back here. And there's this clip here. This is an odd duck. I've never seen one like this. What year is this thing from? This must have been made after I left the business, or very close to, because I've never seen one of these. If I did, it was just to clean the heads. The nice thing about brittle plastic clips is, yeah, I had to take the back off it. I had to take this off. But brittle plastic clips are just that. They're brittle. And things will just fall apart. Oh, why did it just stop when I lifted this up? It's got our wonderful circuit glue on here. I wonder if this is where our problem is. Although now I have another problem because the machine won't turn on at all. It just shuts off as soon as I try to power it up. So I don't know whether this board is not connected properly. These connectors come apart. This is the system control and servo board. Actually, I think it's a servo because, well, power plugs into, there's a power plug in. The power plugs into here. This might be the main system control and servo because the motors plug in here and it plugs into the main board. This would be audio. I think that's audio. That's audio. It says AUD on it. This is the video board over here. And they got this crap glue on here that, well, we know what happens with this stuff. When it deteriorates, it starts to become conductive. So that might be why my video is the crap on it. This is right in one of the video, this delay line, I believe, is what that is. CP203, it's a composite component of some type that does probably luminance processing. It's got an input and an output right here. Where are we here? This part here. All the circuit glue around here. This may be where all that noise is getting in, is just from shorts on here, or it could be a cap in here somewhere that's bad. It's in this area where I was putting the wet finger that things cleared up. I mean, that cap there could be, I guess, could cause it. There's some corrosion around here. I bet you this cap's leaking. I bet you it's this goddamn one right here is bad. I bet you that's the fault. You can see on the board here, solder mask is coming off because I think this cap has been leaking. What a piece of junk this thing is. You know, the engineers just messed up on this one big time. The design of this is a joke. Anybody that thinks this is a good design, it's just, it's bad. You know, it's like, you got all these stupid circuit boards on these swivel connectors, but what good are they if you can't open the thing up without them popping apart? And you can't turn the thing on without the remote, which I don't have. Well, I have a remote, but it doesn't work, so I had to pull the front buttons off so that I could get the power switch, because the power switch is here. Right, power switch is there. There's a second eject key down here, big deal. Stop is over here, stop eject. There's a hidden eject key that I found out here somewhere. Oh, it's underneath here. You know, so I guess when the front is off, you can eject the tape. Problem is you can't turn it on without the power button, right? If you take the front panel off and the unit is not powered up, you can't turn it on without plugging the front panel back on because the power switch is here. What an absolute stupid design this one is. I mean, I've seen some bad designs before. Panasonic's usually pretty good at that, the JVC. But this one here, I don't know, this is up there. Considering Hitachi used to make some nice VCRs that were relatively easy to work on. This one's got another chip in here, another module with some surface mounted caps. This is probably the MTS board, so I don't give a rat's ass about that. It's I'm just trying to get this thing to play a picture that's watchable. But right now I got no picture because, well, when I opened the board up, this connector popped apart and everything shut down. Let's measure these two caps down here. I think it's this one. Let's just see. I think that one's been leaking, and 65, yeah, that's bad. What about this other one over here? Wherever it may be, it's this one here, this one here. That one looks okay. I think we'll change this one here. We'll just change it for the hell of it. See whether the machine actually fires up when I put it back together. And yeah, I mean, I wasted too much time on this. I've been on this thing for a while. Why is my stopwatch going? I've been on this thing for a couple of hours, so I was wanting to get onto the beta machines that were shipped in today, but this one was a local one, so I figured I would just jump on this one first, and I could get this thing fixed and out of here right away. Yeah, right. This one's now become a, I wouldn't say it, well, it's a challenge, but it's now just become a, I want to see what's wrong with it. Why is it not working? Well, it's not working because it's full of crappy caps, that's why. Caps that are actually leaking. This is a 47 microfarad 16 volt. I'll drag out one and throw that in and see if that fixes it. It's hard to tell if that's connected or not. Just the solder mask and stuff is bad. It's corroded around here. We'll snap the board back in and see if this thing will fire up. I just put the board back in, fired it up. The picture still is terrible. So if you come across one of these piece of shit Hitachis, this one is a, what is this one? An F372, walk away from it. This is a piece of junk. Absolute piece of junk. It's impossible to work on. That control board just pops apart without any warning, and trying to get the connections to stay together just to tip the board down. I've had this board back in and out probably 5 times. Every time I tilt it down, one of the connectors separates enough that it won't power up. It's like, hello, how stupid of a design was this? There's no slack on the cables. So just to turn it into place, you end up separating one of the boards, and then it loses power. And yeah, to try and get all those connectors put back in there and not be coming apart when you tilt it back into place, it's an absolute nightmare. Probably throw heat on there and it'll identify which one it is and it'll clear up. And it did, literally. I gave it 2 seconds of heat onto the video board, and the problem went away. Just going through the board just one last time, this one's bad. This 47 microfarad at 16 is open, and this one here is also bad. You can see this one's leaking. I'm changing these two out. This is the last two I'm going to change on this piece of shit. See if I can get a picture on it. It's become a challenge now, right? Are they both 47s? Both 47 at 16, go figure. It's now kind of become a bit of a challenge, and I just want to see this through, even though I'm going to lose money on it for sure. But what the hell? Maybe they'll keep you guys around long enough to watch it. 47, 25, that'll work. 47 at 25. Sure, what the hell? It's getting this goddamn thing back together without the board popping apart. That's the hard part, because every time I've been putting this thing together, a stupid circuit board has been just popping apart. The heat gun, of course, took me in the right direction for this, because I threw some heat on the board, and as soon as I threw some heat on the board, the picture cleared up. So we knew it was a thermal problem, and caps are what causes all those thermal problems. But this thing's just been terrible. I mean, the number of caps I've changed on this thing, I changed like 6 in the power supply. I changed this one over here that was leaking. This one's leaking as well. This one's open. The rest of them test okay, ESR wise. So hopefully they are. Hopefully it's just these two that are bad. This one here, obviously, this one's bad because it's pissing on the board. Let's see if I can pop this board in without other things coming unplugged. I mean, it's just one of those it's one of those days. Just you get a really bad design, and this is a bad design. It's a terrible design. I bet you that. Oh yeah, you see, I bet you that's come apart again. Yep, my clock display doesn't light up, so this fucking connector has come apart yet again. Gotta pop it back together. Hopefully they'll stay together and get a picture out of it. And I know if it's apart, it's come apart because the clock display doesn't light up. I still have no display. So obviously it's not making a good contact. It's just a stupid design. There's no slack. These stupid connectors. Alright, I got power. Tape will go in, it should go autoplay. And we have a picture. We still have a bad picture. We still have a bad picture. So, like, Christ, what I gotta change on this thing? It's still got a terrible picture. See what I mean? A horrible picture. If I get the heat gun and just throw some heat onto that board. So I throw a bit of heat on it and it clears right up. Might be on the main board too that's causing it. I don't have any frost spray, but I guess the next best thing would be to let it cool down. And maybe use the soldering iron and just touch some of the caps. It might be one of the ones in here, because all these ones test good. Like every single one of these ones test good. That's when I put the heat right down into here, but there's other caps down in here. These probably are in the video circuit too, so one of these ones is likely what's causing it. I'll let it cool down until it's acting up again. I'll just use the soldering iron to touch the top of the cap and see which one makes the picture clear. And it's got to be one of these ones down here. I mean, I'm at the point where I'm ready to throw this thing in the garbage, but I'd really like to know, and I know you guys would like to know, which one is causing it. So that's what we're up against now, is figuring out which one's causing the problem. So it's bad again. Let's go through and just touch one at a time with the top of the iron and see which one clears up. Ideally, I'd have some cold spray, but I don't have any. I've run out. Duster works fine too if you turn the can upside down, but I don't have any duster. Ooh, that one is promising. That one is promising. We'll just let this thing cool down once again and let's see if I can get the same results. So the one I touched, 47 at 16 volts. It's this one right here. That one, I don't know if you can see it or not, but can you see it? That one back there that you can't see. It's a 47 microfarad 16 volt cap. It's that guy right there. That's the one I touched with the iron. I just touched the top of it, and as soon as I touched the top of it, the picture became clear. So we'll do it again. I'll let it cool down for a bit. I'll turn the power back on, put the tape in, and see if I got a bad picture. You have to take my word for it if it's bad. Okay, it's bad. The picture is bad. I'm going to come in here and touch the top of this thing, and the picture cleared right up immediately. So let's change that cap. I can't believe the number of caps that failed in this thing. Like, usually you'll get one, maybe two, but this thing here has had so many fail. Especially since it doesn't have a switching power supply, which are, those are the usual suspects for causing problems, right? Okay, it's powering up. It's going into play. Let's see what the picture looks like. How's it gonna look? It's looking perfect! Alright! Fix this sucker. Perfect. Oh great, so now we know what causes that distorted picture besides the caps that were leaking on the other board. This one was C841. Make a note of that one. C841. It was a 47 microfarad 16 volt little mother effer, and now I have to spend the rest of the evening trying to get this goddamn board to go in without the connector popping apart, because that's been the running problem with this, is that damn connector falls apart. Alright, I'm reassembling this unit. I've got the board back in place. The connectors are connected. It is working. It is turning on. Let's snap the front panel back on, and that way I can control it, because the power on the remote doesn't work. Okay, that is back in place, and that should be on there now. If I turn on the power, I have a clock display and the power button works, so we know that it turns on. I'm going to throw the bottom on it now. And the theme song, The Engineer's Blunder, definitely does apply on this one, because this was an engineering disaster. Like, they could have made this thing so much better than they did, with those stupid vertical mounted boards that plug into another board and hang upside down, and the a power board that has no slack whatsoever on the cables. You just move the thing and the thing pops apart. They put hinged connectors on there so that you could tip the board up, but the problem was as soon as you tipped it up, the wires below are not long enough to support the unit lifting the board out, so the connectors separate a bit, and if all it takes is them to separate maybe a half a millimeter, they look like they're still plugged in, but they're not making a connection, and therefore the unit won't power up. Yeah, just a real wonderful unit to work on. A set like this, when I was working in the shop, something like this would have been oh, interesting. I got the whole menu on there. Something like this back in the days when I was working on VCRs in the shop, the amount of time that was spent on this, it would never have been fixed. They would have thrown it out and bought a new one, because this would have been a couple $100 minimum to get in there and change all the caps that were changed on this. It's working. Picture's great. As you can see, it looks fantastic. Can now go back together. I'm now happy. You guys are happy. How many parts did I change on this piece of crap? Well, I changed 13 caps. There are 13 capacitors here. That's got to be a record for a VCR. Normally you would expect 1 or 2 in the power supply, right? No, this one had a whole bunch of them in the power supply that were bad. And not only did it have a whole bunch of them in the power supply that were bad, it had 3 on the video board and this one up here. So 4 in the video circuit and the rest of them in the power supply. It's pretty much unseen. I don't think maybe the I think maybe the SLVR5 I did more. Yeah, I think that one had more, because that one had bad caps not only in the power supply, which was full of them, because they were 85 degree caps were used where they should have used 105, but it also had a bunch of Elna so-called audio fluid quality, the silk wrapped ones. They're like red, and they say audio grade on the Elna audio grade on the hi-fi board. Every one of them was bad. Every last one of those mothers was bad. So I think this one here's got to be a close second, though. Is there other caps that are likely to go bad? Probably, because they all came from the same factory. I don't know who made these ones. What brand are they? Does it say? What brand? Oh, guess what? They're Panasonic. Matsushita caps. They're all Matsushita caps that are bad. What about this one? This one's not. That one's not a Panasonic cap. And that one's not a Panasonic cap. And that one's not. But this one's an SME, whatever that is. But all these blue ones, I believe that's the logo for Matsushita. Is that theirs? Maybe not. I think they are. I don't know, maybe somebody can correct me if I'm wrong on the branding, but I think they're Matsushita. The M. That was a Nikon. That was a Nikon, that one. So that's a Nikon that was bad. That's a Nikon, that one. So Nikon and Matsushita, it looks like. That's a Nikon. But this one's definitely got an M on it. That one is, I'm pretty sure it's a Matsushita, that one. Anyway, that's got this one fixed. I can throw the top on it and be happy. Get all the rest of the screws back into it that I pulled. I think I got them out. I got those two, that one, those two. Throw the top cover on, and it'll say thanks for watching. Thanks for sticking around. I thought this was going to be a short form video. Obviously, it's a long form video because this one just had so many problems with it. All right, we'll catch you in the next one. Bye. We're going to fix the power button on the remote on this. I'll do a separate video for that. And this remote control, this one's a piece of shit too. This one changes the input of my BenQ TV. If I press the play button on here, oh, my input just changed. Actually, yeah, there we go. Now it's gone to TV. It's gone to tuner. It changes it to tuner. Now I gotta go and select it. Whoops, wrong button. I gotta go reselect my input. so I can see my camera. At least there's buttons on the top that I can do it. Switch to the DVI input for, yeah, it's a DVI input on this HDMI to DVI adapter. So this remote is on the same frequency as the TV remote, which is interesting. Anyway, thanks for watching. We will catch you in the next one. I gotta put all these parts in a bag because the owner of this will not believe it. Say, I changed out 13 parts. That's why I'm charging what I'm charging it. Thanks for watching. Bye.